of The Joy of Planting. Completely unplanned and off night. But we'll see. I might just turn this into a regular design stream and just put some music on, but for now I figured I'd give it a shot. I haven't done any episodes in like a week or two, so I thought I would just go ahead and give one a shot. Anyways, I have done a lot more work on this course since um, I think I've streamed through 15, I believe, whole creation, but I have not streamed 17. I don't think I streamed 17. I think I did that on my own, which it's not done yet, but it's getting there. It's kind of a little short strategy Dog League Part 4, and then 18, which needs a lot of work still, but I think the bones of it are there, of kind of shortish par 4 with the centerline bunker, with the left play being more aggressive, a smaller landing area, but it gives you a better angle in, and a shorter shot where the outer one kind of blacks you out over the that bunker. It makes it a little harder. So yeah, maybe a little tweaking on that one might be done at some point, but should be good for now. Oh, I just realized I need to get my phone set up here quickly. Just want to get my phone set up so I can check the chat. I think we're there, so I think we're good. Just gotta let this go. I have a very tentative plan on what I'm doing with 16, I believe. So we'll play around with it a little bit. Let's see. Ooh, actually, admittedly, well, it'd be tough to do. I want to run a little ridge up somewhere. Maybe stick this green behind a ridge. But I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to do a quick flyover of this hole and see what I got to work with. Alright. I can definitely put some bunkering on that ridge, make that tee shot very intimidating, but I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with that green site. Yeah, and I can make you kind of play over it. Well, you'll definitely be playing over it. Way, way over it. Kind of to a flatter area. Ah yeah, so this will be a much tougher, or kind of a longer hole. So I don't really need to do anything too crazy with the fairway on this one, I don't think. I can just see what the... Yeah, so you'd be putting it about there. So this is probably solid, though I can... Maybe I cut this corner a little. Yeah, I think that'll work. I can adjust the landscaping just a little. Look at that. That should work. Alright. And then comes down to the green. I suppose I can leave this one a little open. Maybe put it... Well, I guess I've got all of them kind of raised. This one can be raised as well, but I'm trying to think of how to add a little variety to them. definitely make this a big green, which I want to do, I think, because I don't have a lot of big greens on this course. And this is a perfect opportunity for one. Hello, Mr. Texan. How's it going? Welcome to the impromptu stream. Yes, I realized after I went or got or posted in the shout box and well, let's see, I kind of after I posted in the shout box that I was going live, that Eric was already streaming. I don't mean to step on his toes, but mic volume is a little low. I mean, I've got the. Admittedly, I'm not sure how to adjust mic volume. I've got it as loud in Streamlabs as I can. I think that's. I think. Let's see. Yeah, I've got a little volume knob on it, but I'm almost positive that's the headphone one, not the mic one. No worries. I'll just try to speak slightly louder. I'm not sure that this will actually. I'm thinking I kind of want to surround this in fairway, have kind of runoff areas and stuff, but just to be safe, I'm gonna give it a light rough border, so I can kind of change my mind on that as I go. Actually, I think I can make like a cool runoff area to this side. That can be cool. Let's try something here. Something like this, I think, can work. Let you kind of roll it in a little bit, but give you kind of a smaller landing area to work with. If you, or rather, like a narrower fairway if you don't make it to that bit. I wanted the further right one, or left one here. Alright. Let's see here. I think this will work. It doesn't run too close to 17 so that the holes would start to interfere with each other. But it's close enough you can still kind of see it, and it feels like they intermingle a little bit. See if that works. Looks okay to me. I think I get to fill this one because I'm not planning any internal fairway bunkers, which will make this even quicker to do. Let's see. Awesome. Now I have to see if it looks good off the tee. I mean, obviously I can do a lot of adjustments to it that'll make it work even if it's not all the way there yet, but I think we're off to a good start here. That's a slightly illegal pin. Just mildly. Well, I like the hole shape, but it's a very blind tee shot. So I can probably... I'm going to see if I can't make it visible. We're going to save quickly, because I am probably going to futz with the terrain a fair amount. I like this ridge. I like kind of the semi-blind aspect of it, but I want to see if I can just suggest the landing area that you'd be hitting into. Like, I don't need you to see it so much as I'd like you to be able to, at least know where you're aiming off the tee without having to use the scout cam. Like something like that is probably okay. Where you can just see it over the hill. Gives you, there we go. Yeah, I think that's good. If you can kind of aim at this mound here, I can probably get away with raising this a little bit, make it have kind of a little ridge effect to it. It also has the kind of added bonus of giving that potential waste bunker a little depth. Otherwise it might kind of have that bathtub bunker effect to it, where it just sits in a valley and doesn't have a high side to it. Ooh, I think that works. Kind of want to, it's a little high, but it's close. There, that looks good to me. Hello, Mr. Dillon, how's it going? Thanks for stopping in. I'm just playing around with the last hole concept on the course. Once I get this one done, I will have 18 playable holes. And then we can start polishing and finalizing stuff. Which, admittedly, there is a lot to do. Or a lot of that to do. Yeah, that's, sounds a little stressful. That being said, I've only seen the one, but that one looked really good. And when you have designs that start like that, it's, to me, it's always a little easier to get the ideas flowing and push them out a little quicker. You're not second guessing yourself all the time. Ooh, all right, let's see it. I want to move that pin. I think a lot of the interest of this hole is gonna depend on, well, I should get rid of some of these trees for now. Just the ones that are completely covering up all the interesting contours on the green. There we go. That's better for now. Oh, you changed the theme. Oh, you sent it in Discord. All right. I don't actually have Discord open at the moment, so I'll have to go do that. Might be a minute or so. Hopefully I don't think this will bump my frame rate or anything down, because it's an upload versus download thing. Yeah, I like the idea of this kind of hollow, however you want to call it. It's going to need a lot of work, kind of massaging to get it right, but I think the idea is there. All right, let's see. Going with Boreal, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like Boreal. It looks solid. I was gonna say it was kind of a like an oceanside course, wasn't it? How are you working that in Boreal? Is it like a lake now? Gotcha. Hmm. It's all good. I'm not too worried about team stuff at the moment. I want to win, but I'm not going to be a jerk to people just because they're on the other side of the team dynamic for the contest. Ugh, that looks terrible. I'm going to have to find a way to get the textures to smooth out, but we'll get there. It looks okay for now. I think that's going to require a lot of sculpting to get it right. I'd be afraid if you guys weren't all like dropping out of the competition every other day. At this rate, Petty might be the only person on Team JC who publishes. Oh well, I suppose I just need the whole concept at the moment. I can I can work on getting the sculpting and everything settled later. As long as the general idea fits and flows into the course design, this should be good. I think it does. I need this one to be difficult since, yeah, I like how that bunker sits. I could probably throw another one in here somewhere. I need a difficult kind of closing hole. 17's, it's quirky, but I think I originally intended this to be drivable, but I kind of liked this. It's still a risk reward hole, but it's not long. And then 18's kind of a gettable par 5, so 17 and 18 are pretty gettable. for a closing stretch. So I need 16 to be difficult. To at least so there's a little bite to the closing holes. I think 14's on the difficult side. I mean, it's a pseudo-reachable par 5. 15's not an easy par 3, but it isn't the hardest par 3 either. So, I guess, yeah, I might have to tweak some stuff so that it... Like, I might need to make 17 a little more difficult. If I give it kind of a... Not tricked up, but more demanding green complex, and that might keep that kind of flavor, or, you know, might make it a more fitting closing hole. They don't have to be long to be difficult. I like the ones that let you hit driver but kind of punish you for doing so. That might be one of them. Maybe I make a slight front to back sloping green. That could be interesting. Because then that'll kind of emphasize that you want to hit a full wedge in. Of course, it already kind of slopes from front to back. I don't think I need to add to it. I can definitely make the back tier sit a little lower, though. And this can almost sit in like a little bowl. It can be my friendly ace pin or something. But anyway, I am gonna go do a quick fill for this bunker, and then I'm gonna probably play test the closing stretch quickly. And then I might start going through and start polishing, because the prelim steps will be done. Of just having whole concepts in. I still have a lot of work to do. Things like, I don't really like number 4 the way it sits now. I think that's going to need kind of a redesign. But other than that, I made some slight tweaks to 14, so I kind of like the way that flows a little better now. And 15, since I last streamed. I essentially just moved the tee so it's a little bit more of a cape hole. And I'll have to go redo the tee box for that. Because the tee currently sits off the tee box texture that I have there. Yeah, no worries. I'll be here. Not going anywhere. I'll go clean that one up. Alright. Still have some sculpting to do on that one, obviously, but just the ideas. Fine for now. That's a solid look, I think. Definitely visually intimidating, even if it really doesn't come into play, except for maybe like a headwind. Oof, yeah, this is going to be a stout hole in a headwind. Like, this might become a 3-shotter. You only need like 220 to clear, so it's not too bad. But yeah, it's a stout carry in. One sec, I'm gonna be right back. I want to go check on something. Never mind. I just heard kind of a loudish noise and wanted to go check what it was. It was just the AC and the refrigerator kicking on at the same time. So it just suddenly got kind of loud in the apartment. Alright, and then on to the kind of quirky, shortish par 4 here. Gives you like this kind of layup area at about 200. Gives you a decent angle in. And then lets you hit like maybe a 2-wood out here as well, which really doesn't offer you any better option than that layup. Or you hit driver, kind of take on the bunker in the corner here. And then I think you have like a pitch in versus a full shot in. I might play with the fairway camber, whatever, fairway slope to make that shot just a little more dicey. Yeah, it's already not an easy approach shot. Although I think, once again, it's a very illegal pin. We'll see if I can finish it out, though. I might just be able to. Oh, nope, not like that. Like if I could just get it to stop on the right side of the pin, I could have tapped in, but... Or I could just make it. That works. Okay, very much not done, green-wise. Or even like bunker and surface-wise. Just basic hole concepts down. Then 18 with its central fairway bunker and kind of perched up green site. So it guards this left side pretty well. Oh, hang in there. At least it's supposed to. That way, that's your kind of your preferred shot to make it home. You get the best or a better line in. And, well, it doesn't matter if you get a slow. Hello, Kessler, how's it going? So if you're like me and terrible at this game, then it doesn't really matter that you're on the right side of the fairway. Or correct, because it's the left side. And then it's still, you can still eat it on that shot. Alright, I think we're good for now. So there we go. We have 16 playable hole concepts. We are quote unquote done. But not really. Let's see here. Alright. So, in which case, I suppose I can go back and start with one and start finishing up some stuff. Now, I think this tee box is way too large, considering that even the front tees are only up there. Yeah, same here. Highs are 99 both days this weekend. So I don't think I'll be golfing this weekend. I was debating it, but it's just it hits that point where it's just not fun anymore. It's just miserable to be outside. Yeah, I think that's gonna work there. First things first. Yeah, but it's just gonna be absolutely brutal. I am really not looking forward to it. Probably stretch those bunkers out just a little bit. Maybe throw in a little small one in here. Yeah, almost definitely. No, I suppose I need a path of some kind. Let's see, somewhere kind of along here, I suppose. Gotta have some way of walking the 10 tee box to start the back nine. And there's no really good way to route this thing. Yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna get to play Monday and Tuesday anyway. So there's just that whole thing of like I'm gonna get to play at least twice next week, regardless of whether or not I play Saturday in much more comfortable temperatures. And it's just gonna be humid and nasty, and it's just absolutely unenjoyable. So we'll see. Like I might do 9 in the evening or something like that, but the original plan was to um, make like a massive um, like cooler of Gatorade. Like just I think I've got like a 2 gallon cooler floating around somewhere, and get like the powdered Gatorade mix and just make a huge batch. So you just have gallons of ice cold Gatorade. Whoops, wrong surface. There we go. And then, in the evening where the temperatures are lower, that it might be tolerable. But temperatures aren't projected to fall below 90 degrees until I think it's supposed to stay over 90 past 9 p.m. It's just like the heat isn't going anywhere, and it's just insane. Don't want that close. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. At least Monday, like I think the temperatures are supposed to drop significantly this weekend, or after this weekend. I mean. So that's something. part of me just kind of balks at the idea of letting a little bit of heat prevent me from playing, but it's also just going to be incredibly miserable. And I think the only reason I'm even entertaining the idea of playing this weekend is because, um, well, pride probably, and wanting to get in form for league on Monday. But I also like that hasn't helped at all this season, and the um like my I had my best round of the year last week when I took a break for several days, went in totally cold, and just didn't think and just hit the ball. So I'm thinking maybe the strategy going into to Monday is not to play this weekend, and it's to just go in completely cold and just not think about it. Oops, wrong button. Plus, I'll have this and the Open Championship and all those other things to keep me occupied this weekend. So I don't need to go tough it out and play in 100-degree heat either. Exactly. I went in with zero expectations and then played great. The the only the only stretch in which I struggled was on the end of the back nine. That was only because I was starting to think about how well I was playing. Or I started out hot and was threatening birdies on the first several holes. Never made any of them, but I was at least threatening. And then I'm starting to think, oh man, I'm even par and I'm on. Like I could make this into a round, and then just stumbled hard to a front 940, which is a solid score. It's better than what I've shot a lot of the time lately. But starting off really hot, I just had two bogeys and a double in like the last four holes, like 6 through 9, I think. And then I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like I settled in, and at that point I figured, oh well, I'm not I'm not gonna go put up a crazy low number anyway, so like I'm just not gonna worry about that. And my only focus was I'm playing well. I'd like to have a birdie to show for it. So the back nine, all I was trying to do was get a birdie, and I got two, and shot 35. I was absolutely on. I hit 7 of 9 greens on the back, and the two that I missed, one I just dribbled it over the back, and kind of ended up in a little tough spot. So if I was a foot shorter, then that would have been good. 'Cause I think the main reason I went over the back was because there's kind of a dead spot on that green. It wasn't manicured very well, and it just dropped away off the back. The other one, I'm right on the fringe, 15 feet from the hole. Technically not a gur, but like a birdie opportunity. Yeah, I do that a lot too. -2 is always my magic number of at that point it's very hard not to think about how you're doing, and it becomes very very easy to think, oh man, like this is a score. You I can't I can kind of ignore 1 under, but 2 under is the ooh I could go low territory, and it gets in your head. Somehow you have to like make it to -2 without thinking about it or noticing that you've shut under or that you're at -2. I had one round where I was -2 or -3. I think I was actually -3 going into to 15. which is like a really, on the course I was playing, is a very straightforward, easy par five. So I'm thinking like almost automatic birdie on that one, which again is kind of stupid, but you know, I was on. Exactly. That's the. It's just that mental barrier of, oh, this is different now, and it's just it's not the best way to think, and I always shoot myself in the foot when I do that. But anyway, regardless, so I'm on 15 and I'm on a roll. I'm just like, just stay in your rhythm and just just don't think about it, just execute, just butt one down the middle. But I catch this string of groups in front of me. I was playing by myself, so I was just flying through. Part of the reason I hadn't really gotten to stop and think about my score is because I was just, you know, I was in a rhythm. So I catch this long string of groups, and I have to wait on the tee for 15 minutes. And just sit there and stew for 15 minutes. And then just, like, top dribble one into the fairway. I think I squeaked out with a par. And then next hole, I, like, hit one in the trees, and like I hit two trees on the next hole, take a double, and then yeah, something. I just remember being at that point. My previous best was a 73 on that same course. I think I had birdied 18 to get there, and I was just ecstatic. So this time around, I'm even par going into 18, and I bogey it to end up at 73. And I tie my personal best and just felt so crappy about it. It was just salty. So it was just kind of funny. Exactly. And it was just that, like, if you're waiting consistently, so that's at least kind of part of your rhythm of just, like you're just kind of crawling along. Like that's one thing, but this was the flying through and coming through to a grinding halt. And it's just, it completely threw me. But such is golf and life. I still don't think I've broken 73 on that course, even though I've tied it several times. I think my 172 was on a different course. Admittedly, both of these are very easy courses, so even shooting under par would put you at like a 3 handicap or something. I believe this begins the tedious planty bits of this course. Can't remember who it was. Somebody was asking about my, I think it was either Ariel Adam or Ben. I can't remember who was asking if me finishing my contest course meant that my days of 3 hour grass planting streams were over. I said yes, because this course isn't going to require any real planting. And since then the look has changed, and I've got some really cool stuff going that just requires some planting. And all of a sudden, yep, never mind. This is gonna get tedious in spots. That's awesome. Sounds like a good time. trying to figure out what I want to do with this clubhouse. I have no idea. Well, yeah, I can take a couple of minutes and give it a shot. See if I can come up with anything cool. Because if I'm going to get this whole area worked out, I'm going to need a clubhouse. Alright, we're going to delete both of these for now. I might end up actually going with something similar, but for now I would just like to kind of empty it out and see what interesting stuff I can come up with. Alright, that should work for now. Now, clubhouse. I don't know if I want to use one of these guys as a starting point. This one is okay. It's actually not bad. I think I want a little bit of a smaller clubhouse on this one. But I'm not entirely sure I want to go with this one. If only because I used this as the kind of starting point for the last one I did. I really liked that clubhouse. It's just that, ooh, actually, it's got this blue kind of dormer things going. So I can probably get away with, yeah, that one has a garage. Okay, all the houses in the townhouse thing that have those colors all have garages, which is annoying. I could maybe get away with something like that. That's kind of interesting. If I wanted to go more modern looking. I use this as the basis. It's not terrible. It's not great yet, but it's not terrible. Let's give that a go for now. We're gonna throw that in there. And then something like this. ones are okay. They're not awful. I don't know if I like them per se, but yeah, exactly. I get ya. Here, I'm gonna move this one. So that looks like a kind of glass door. So I kind of like that being the entrance point. And we can probably put it here, I guess? Something like that. Not bad. Let's try some of the city buildings and see if I can find one that... Oh, that's massive. We don't need that. And get this really, really big one just to lower it all the way down and make it way small. Wee. That's still way too big for what I want. I like that as a clubhouse. Like just the top 2 stories. I think that's a cool idea for a future clubhouse. And throw some little detail work on it. But that's way too big for what I'm trying to do here. This one is not doing it for me right now. That's not awful, though. I don't know if I really like it either. None of these are doing it for me. Oh yeah, I already flipped around, so... These all look awful. Yeah, it might just be the L shape of these guys, maybe. That's kind of the general, like it kind of fits the theme without being ridiculous. Or do a lodgish one, which also kind of fits the theme. So we would obviously do probably one right there. Like maybe I do end up going with a pseudo version of the what I had before. Like here, and drop it so it's sitting on the first floor. It's not the worst thing I've seen. It's not my favorite thing, but it's not the worst thing. Oh, but then I got that thing to worry about. Ugh. It's a pain in the ass. Okay, yep. For now we're just bailing and throwing this guy out there. It's got a little bit of a smaller auto flat area, so this works. Good enough. Not my favorite clubhouse ever, but it is not terrible either. I suppose I could throw this. I don't like that little thing on the end, but I don't know what to put there. put a gazebo, which looks terrible. But yes, exactly. I mean, we've all had to make our own clubhouses for a while now. Some of us, I mean, I wouldn't consider myself good at it, but I've made some decent clubhouses. Some folks are really, really good at it. Well, there. That's a reasonably sized clubhouse, so I like that. That's kind of my little solid kind of mid-sized one. Where am I gonna put that though? Maybe out here. Yeah, we're gonna put it out here on the end. Well, that definitely looks nice coming up over the hill. That's not awful from back here. Let's see. I can probably get away with using some townhouse stuff. Just throw like this guy on back here. Somewhere. Ooh, that's how I can get rid of that little guy. Just go bam. Here's a little end cap. It doesn't look awful. Let's try it somewhere around there. Bam, that looks respectable. And it kind of fits. Yeah, I'm with you. I've gotten a little bit more creative, but I'm very picky about what I throw together. Cause I don't. To me, if I can tell that it's just, if it doesn't look seamless and it doesn't click together, then it kind of takes me out of my round. Ooh, I could do something like this. Well, I don't really like that style of clubhouse for this course. I want it to be a little bit more casual. I think that's the winner. I gotta move this guy, I think. Maybe just throw it out front. Like, this is a good spot for it. I'll just throw some fencing in and call it a day. That looks pretty solid for a little kind of smallish clubhouse. Let's see. Gotta add sherds and a big windmill. I can't remember if you can. I don't think you can rescale these, which makes me sad. Because then I could use it for a mini golf course, which I suppose you still could. It would just have to be like a center prop, and it would be awesome. Ooh. Why am I digging a windmill for this course? It makes no sense. Does it look ridiculous? Yes, it looks kind of ridiculous. Yeah, I'm with you. I always fight that a little bit. I can't think of any place where it even remotely makes sense to have a windmill. It doesn't fit in this course, and yet somehow I just feel like I gotta find a spot for a windmill. This is cool. I could throw some of these in. No, those just look awful. Let's not. I like the idea of wind turbines like way off in the distance on a course. Just likely not this course. Well, I don't know. It's like an off in the distance thing. It could be worse. Could throw some like down there. You could kind of see them off in the distance. Maybe, just maybe, I add those to spice up the off-course stuff in on a couple holes, but I don't need to do that yet. I don't know why the windmill idea has buried itself in my skull all of a sudden. Let's see. We'll do surface number. I think that's what I've been using for the cart paths, or this walking path, so we're going to start with that for now. Do something like that. We'll do a little bit of a patio. I think we'll let you walk all the way around. Do like a 45-degree cutoff, something kind of like that, and then close it up here. Let's see how that looks. Okay, not amazing, but okay. But I can also fix that up relatively easily. Oh, I didn't use the same surface. Ooh, interesting. But we can fix that. I think I just used the cart path for that one. But here, we're gonna swap this. This is gonna be surface 6, or surface 1. And this is gonna be the cart path. So that this will sit above all of them. Why is it? Oh, I turned on the second surface. I think. Edit. I want you to be cart path. Oh, yes, cart path. Good. Do it. Yeah, I kind of liked and part of it is probably personal bias because I know a course that kind of has that look that I really, well, I hate the course, but I like the look. That it's kind of a mountainy course and it's got all these wind turbines off in the distance that I thought is really cool. So I kind of like the idea of wind turbines on a Swiss course. Like that to me is a cool look, but it's also a it has to make, or you have to find the right Swiss course. It's not gonna look good on all Swiss courses. Ooh, I'm gonna have to flatten that out too. Who knows? Maybe I'll find a way to incorporate a windmill into this course. We just often, or wind turbines off in the distance. I don't know if that'll ruin the vibe that this course has going so far though. But we'll see. Doesn't hurt to play around with it later. I don't have to do it if I decide to try one later. There we go. Well, not perfectly straight, but whatever. I don't think anybody will really notice that the surfaces are ever so slightly skewed off one another. Giant power pylons, because yes, agreed. It's just one of those where this is weird tip time for newer folks of just, and you have to use it very sparingly, but sometimes intentionally ruining or like making parts of your course slightly worse like that gives it a very real feeling. Like normally you're like, why would I ruin this gorgeous course I have going with power lines running down a hole? Like, I don't have to do that, so it makes absolutely zero sense for me to do that. But I love if you can do it well and in a way that makes sense, and then that's a great thing to add to your course if you want it to feel like a real life, like, you know, nice but municipal course. Because there's so many courses that all of us play in real life that feature power lines, not necessarily in play, but say running between holes or off to the side, things like that. So they're always, it always to me just helps add that little spice of realism to it. There you go. That's not a bad looking start. Now, I can't make them any smaller, which is sad. Exactly. Like if you can, to me, one of the biggest compliments you can receive, um, on a course is like it feels like I've played this course before in real life somewhere. Does that look off? Yeah, a little, but I don't think it's too terrible. Ooh, or I could do, well, it has the same problem. Oh well, if it's slightly off, sue me. It needs a little touch of something along that edge. I should throw some flowers in there as well. Exactly. Like some of my favorite courses in game are things where people made like a local municipal course in game and did it really really well, so it just feels like you're playing a real life course. I love that. Or even better, the fantasy ones that feel like, funny enough, I think Arctic Fury has gone very fantasy heavy. I mean, he's always done that, but lately it's kind of all he does. But he did a handful of very grounded, very realistic courses that I thought were awesome for a while, and then he kind of stopped doing it. It just made me a little sad because I thought he was one of the best guys for like making I think it's like White Rapids or whatever that one was, the one that Scarpacci did the plot for and that he routed. And there's a couple fantasy-ish holes in it, um, but the rest of that course just felt like a course, like a decent like $60 municipal course that you might play, where it's a little bit upscale but not over the top and just very like accessible to the public type thing. And I thought he did an amazing job with that. Okay, with the planting and stuff, this clubhouse is kind of popping a little bit to me. So this works out. I like the. It's a little similar to my clubhouse on Cabernet Club, but I really like the look so far, so I'm gonna roll with it. And I just gotta add like a little bit of fencing What kind of fence do I want? I could, let's see. This might this might look weird, but if I did something like this, that could be interesting. That's not bad. I've seen worse. Yeah. I always liked that course, but to me that wasn't one of his like it didn't feel um like that wasn't one of his where it just felt like a oh god, what was the Iron Faller? I think that was one he did at the end of TGC 1, or it was like kind of an autumn course. Like that was kind of to me the pinnacle of this feels like a real life course. It was so good. I kind of wish he would go back to one of those again. It's been a long time. What do you think of that fencing? I'm thinking, oh, that's terrible. That could work. Yeah, exactly. To a certain extent, it was one of the great thing about that course is that like I think you could kind of say that with a lot of different regions of this feels exactly like X course that I've played locally. And he always made a lot of his courses feel like a spiced up municipal course in a good way, where it felt so real because it was so grounded in a lot of ways. Hmm. Yeah, I might have screwed that up. It's just a little off. So let's try this. We'll try a little. Well, it'll be just a little off, but it's okay. Hopefully it's close enough no one will notice. This is turning into a very Eric-ish stream. Where I'm just kind of, yeah. If you're listening, don't take this the wrong way. I mean it as a, well, maybe I wouldn't say compliment, but it certainly isn't an insult. Just an observation of like I'm just kind of puttering and just doing all this little clubhouse detail work. Exactly. And realistically, it could. I'm sure there's places outside that range that could feel very much like it. I'm just gonna go all the way to the end here, and I can just pull out a a segment of it or two for the kind of walk-in area for getting off 18. Maybe this one. Uh, maybe this one as well. Actually, maybe I do both. Or make a very wide area. Yeah, that works for me. I can probably finish that up later as well. Hmm. Here's a different question. I'm going to save before trying this out. Do I want to extend the light rough area around the clubhouse? This is kind of like closely mown or something. I'm going to give it a quick shot and see if I like that look. Like just extending the light rough into this clubhouse area. I've been using it as walkways, obviously, but like it doesn't. It might not make sense to just have a little specific walkways uh, this close to the clubhouse. Just have a big general uh, kind of mode area, especially because I kind of want to see if I can't fit. Well, there's not a lot of room. I think fitting a putting green in there is going to be very difficult. Unless I trimmed this runoff area, but actually I could squeeze one in the front there. That could work. I don't know if I'm going to stick with this idea, but I want to try it just to see if it looks remotely reasonable. Well, it looks reasonable, but I don't think I necessarily like it either. Just, the idea is there. Like, I wouldn't necessarily want just the little thin, skinny paths like these guys, but the big, super wide area doesn't do it for me either. So we'll just undo that. Yeah, the hazard areas are a good touch when used correctly, but I've also found that since there really isn't like a huge need for it, that it just it almost gets, yeah, like it's that whole thing of I used those a ton when I started, and I just kind of got to the point where I didn't feel like it added much, and just started excluding them, like the yardage markers, things like that. Like they always, to me, they always got in the way more than they added to the ambiance of a course. But that was also just my kind of personal preference, experience, however you want to call it. There we go. I suppose it'll look okay if I plant that area successfully. Alright, yeah, we're going to put the putting green out front. I don't have a driving range out here. Oh well, I can add one around the hotel somewhere, I guess. That would make sense. It's kind of a resort. You can suggest that there's multiple courses and a driving range in between them. It's gonna have some contouring to it. Yes, that is very true. Like how it's done will greatly affect the end look, but I don't know. I've just gotten to the point where outside of occasionally adding maybe 150 yard markers where appropriate, I don't do as much of those kind of detail touches. Like I think I've always struggled to have it add anything. But yeah, for somebody like Arctic Fury, who's always done his visual touches at a very very high level, like and you're trying to make a municipal feeling course, that's absolutely a great tool to have in your bag. Yeah, I could add another 18 holes, but I don't know where I would put them. I mean, if I had a very tight, compact course, I could maybe do it down here at the bottom of this valley. It'd be a cool touch, but it's just God, it's so much extra work. I could do who knows? Maybe I'll add another little course down there at some point, like a 9 hole or um what do you want to call it? I could do like a 9 holer or a short game course or like an executive course, something like that. Could be fun. I mean, like if somebody else wants to add a course, by all means, I can happily pass off the file and say, hey, there's this big wide open area on the edge of the plot. If you want to go make a short game course, go for it. I mean, I know you are, but I'm also sitting here going, that's not a terrible idea. Like, I can, actually, as a background, I can totally do some cool stuff with a little resort area in here. Almost like a little village type thing. And then you can have the little short game course bounce around the other side of that. Could be awesome. Of course, gotta get Eric and random, like, make tennis courts or. Oh yeah, actually, I'd have to talk to Jeremy. I could totally make tennis courts. That'd be cool. Potentially. Again, I'd have to figure out the exact vibe of this place that I want, which I'm not entirely sure yet. Man, it's gotten to 11:30 on me. I keep losing track of time, which is more fine than it has been this week because I don't have to get up at a particular time tomorrow, which is great. I am going to sleep so hard. It's not a bad little touch, I don't think. Yeah, although who knows? Maybe like if I focus on the area down here, like 16:8 and that sort of thing, get that part finished up and do the resort, I could pass it off to somebody and say, "Hey, you want to do an executive for 9 hole or some goofy little fun thing?" And then we could, well, there's no way they'd finish in remotely in time for the deadline, so it wouldn't make sense. But I also don't need to wait till I'm fully done planting all of the rest of the course when you'll never really see any of it. At most, I would need to go finish the holes by the resort and the resort, and then just pass the file off and say, "Hey, go make me a short game course if you don't mind." Anyway, Clubhouse. I can let's see. Now, what other little details do I want to add to this? Signs. Wait, hold on. I just realized. Enter. I don't know if that looks weird or not. Something like that could work. But I'd probably just do it at a 90-degree angle so it didn't look wonky. Well, it's going to look wonky anyway. No worries, man. It's all good. Well, I might change that up later, but I don't mind it right now, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that. I have some bag stands here, maybe for people who are making the turn. get way over invested in details in this stream. Because why not? It's funny, I think I said that I didn't want to do like a Joy of Planting stream like this. Because I didn't think I could do anything interesting with it in that like of like, hey, I don't want to make anyone watch me plant for an hour and a half. But that's exactly what I'm doing. And it's hilarious. Yeah, well, I don't know if I'm that bad per se. I'm not much better either. I'm down to, granted, I have a handful of courses that I think I've got an inactive course folder of stuff that I haven't quite deleted in case somebody wants it. I don't know why. And yeah, that's not bad. Maybe move it slightly, but I like I don't want it clogging up uh, my list in game. So they just they get migrated to a folder where none of them will ever see the light of day again. Most of those are terrible though. I have a handful of, ironically, better courses. I think that I'm still thinking of giving away. I've got one from TGC2, but I do plan on finishing that at some point. It actually might be what I do next after I finish this, is dig out my links course again. You know, it's British Open time. It always makes you want to make a links course. Yeah, and there's a couple of really good holes in that plot, even if I've just gotten stuck with it so many times. There's just enough stuff worth saving in it that I struggle to get rid of it. I also find it mildly amusing that amusing, not amusing words. Um, but anyway, I find it amusing. I think I was commenting on somebody was talking about in that like kind of I can't remember, like design template ideas thread of, hey, what if you try to make a course in 2 hours? I think me and a couple other folks said, yeah, there's absolutely no way that you could possibly do that. I believe I said something along the lines of, I'm probably one of the fastest designers out there, and I think that amount of time is just nuts. Just trying to, there's so much stuff to fit in. And meanwhile, I spent hours just putzing with little details in between the whole areas. Getting overly intricate with just goofy detail touches. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I mean, yeah, I can see how it would end up as kind of like more as a goofy kind of joke project than a serious one, but it's an intriguing idea. I give you a lot of props for that. I think I had tossed around the idea of once or twice of what Petty ended up doing. Of I'm going to make a course with no bunkers, and publish that. I also played around with the idea of I wanted to make a course with a par six hole on it. But again, it's that it'd be hard to make a one that has strategic interest and value other than just hit the ball a bunch of times. Nice. Yeah. Oh. Sorry, big yawn there. You can still 100% do a reversible course. You just have to publish it as two versions. But I think the one I don't I don't know if there's multiple real life reversible courses. I just know about Doak's one that he did, but I don't know if there are other reversible courses out there of merit. The loop, yes. Oh, you went a 9 in each direction? That's interesting. I was just going to say that you just make a normal 18-hole course, route it one way, you can pin it however you want, you know, and then just I think they had like a red and a black version or however they did it. You could just do that. You could just publish two versions and just flip the direction around, move the tees and the green markers and pins and stuff. It'd be quite doable. It'd be pretty easy. And that way you can still play it like a normal golf course, quote unquote. If you wanted to. It's just, hey, here's 18 holes. 9 in each direction would work, I suppose. Something like that. I can just throw some grasses and rocks in there, and that area will work, I think. Well, it's definitely starting to work to my eye, I think. That could work. That being said, I mean, like, I don't know if you don't have to cram both ideas into the same, like, playable course round, however you want to. Like, the two different versions would work perfectly fine. I mean, I feel like most people that are pulling it in for society events that want the novelty of a reversible course can easily just set up two events. Like, I highly doubt anyone's going to accidentally stumble upon the reversible course and use it for an event without understanding what it is or what they want to do with it. Nice. Love it. Did you make the Kessler Club in TGC? Sounds like a great idea. See, I gotta check how long I've been streaming for. Since this is technically a Joy of Planting episode, I don't want it to be insanely long. Okay, so yeah, I'm an hour 40 in, so I probably want to cut it here. I don't a 2 hour Joy of Planting episode seems nuts. However, I'm not gonna stop streaming. I might just cut this particular stream here so that I can um, uh, post this somewhere. I think this is a good little tidbit on, hey, I finished up a quick whole concept and then I dove into like Clubhouse and detail work. So there's some value there uh, for folks who want to find it. And I'll that bunker still needs work and whatnot, but I can always come back and touch this up later. But anyway, so I am I'm not going anywhere. I'll keep streaming for a little bit longer, but I'm going to cut this one and start a new stream in a couple seconds. So um like if you're watching a replay of this, if I've posted this to YouTube or whatnot, thanks for tuning in. I'll hopefully see you in the next episode. For those of you guys who are watching this live on Twitch, I will see you all in about 5 seconds. So anyways, have a good one, and I will see y'all later.